Sure thing. I'm recording the Zoom so we can share it to those that can't make it. But yeah, obviously we're doing this a bit differently to other years. For those that have been umpiring with us previously, you know that I like to have a session at the start of each year to outline the expectations and interpretations for the year ahead. I see it as a really important way of giving everyone on the same page. I've put a bit of pressure on you all in the past to have to come along to that night. If you want to do A-grade footy, I won't do the same thing tonight with this. It's hard for me to keep track of who is actually on the Zoom, but I'm recording the meeting, so I'll send it out and hopefully everyone watches it. But yeah, welcome along, and great to be back. It's all happening pretty quickly. We're going to get underway with trial games. So we've got one this weekend, but the majority will get started the following weekend. And then it will just be go. And good to see numbers on the track are great. Good to see that most of you have registered with the new system, which is excellent. Before we get started talking through the things I need to talk about, I do just want to mention Reinhard's Twitter, who I did talk about tonight at training. Rhino, many of you will know, absolute legendary umpire, been around for many years. I love Rhino. He's a champion guy. Just let me know last week he's having some health concerns. He has found he's got a melanoma, cancer-causing melanoma. He's going to have to go through 12 weeks of pretty intensive treatment for that. And essentially, yeah, we're going to have to, yeah, just allow him to do the treatment. You won't see him umpiring. Well, maybe not all of this year, but he wants to get back at the end of the year, hopefully. But for those of you who have his contact details, reach out to him, wish him well. I know he'll appreciate that. All right, let's get on to the things I got to get through. And for those of you that have been with us for a few years, you will hear some of this stuff again. Sorry about that. There'll be a few little bits and pieces that have been added to what I've said in the past, but a lot of it's cut and paste. But it's important just to reiterate some of these important things. So first of all, I just want everyone to remember what I'm trying to create with the culture and the environment of the group is that the most important thing is everyone just enjoys their footy, enjoys the fact that you can get out there and umpire games of footy, whatever level. And if you're not enjoying umpiring for whatever reason, I need to hear about it. So if there's something I can do to help change that, if we can talk through things to get you in a position where you get back enjoying umpiring, you know, just communicate with me. I really just want everyone to enjoy the fact that we've got a great competition, that we've got so many yeah, great experiences. And yeah, if anything's stopping you from enjoying umpiring, I need you to come and talk to me about it. Training, as most of you know, we're up and about Monday, Wednesday nights. We've got a great new venue in the East Parklands. CBC have been ultra keen to get us on board, and I guess they want more users of their facility. They're wanting to upgrade their facility. Us being there sort of helps them apply for funding. And yeah, they're really keen to see us happy there. So that's been a real win. Obviously, why Theverton is getting redeveloped. So we're there until the end of March on 2 nights a week, Monday and Wednesday for the field and boundary umpires, 1 night a week for the goalies. And it's just off Bartel Road. For the beginning of April, training will be once a week on Wednesday nights, and we'll have the Monday night Zoom meeting. So here's something that's a bit different to other years. For the time being, due to the current COVID situation, there'll be no selection consequences of not attending training. So a few of you, I know Rashi's on the Zoom tonight, he might be pretty happy with that. In fact, Rashi's had a chat to me recently about he's concerned about training in a group. The consequences of getting COVID can be really detrimental if you're self-employed or have some work-related real concerns about catching COVID and then not being able to work. So I totally understand that. and there are people not training with us at the moment for that reason. So I can't hold that against those people, whereas normally I would be saying, I need you to commit and I need you to attend training. For the time being, while things are they are, I'll say to you, feel free to train your own if that's what suits you, and it won't be held against you. There are a few field umpires in the group, and boundary and goal, that are out training with the Sample W panel. Good experience for those guys. You won't see them in our training while they're out there, because that's where their priority is for the time being. But most of those guys you'll see back at some stage in the not too distant future. So despite not having the same consequences for attendance and non-attendance in previous years, we'll continue to have a sign-in sheet at training. It's good for me just to keep an eye on where people are at, and if someone's not attending training and might need to follow up and just to make sure they're okay or whatever, it's Pete will have the attendance sheet, or during the season it will just be out there for you to sign. So we'll continue with that. All right, something new this year is the Officials HQ, taken over from Scheduler and Sporting Pulse. So we've got that 90-minute video. I know a lot of you sort of didn't want to go through 90 minutes of a video. I know it's not all that much fun, but important that you get a real understanding of all the things that Officials HQ can do. It means that you're not firing questions at me and Pete that are on the video, so just please take the time to do that. Obviously, the most important thing at the moment is to get registered, which most of you done, which is great. And we'll work through issues as we go. Change is always difficult. Once we get used to the system, there's lots of benefits to Officials HQ. We won't have the same problem with the app that we had last year, for one thing. There will be coaching videos added to Officials HQ. They're going to be some really good features to Officials HQ, but they're still working on some of the things. We're still getting used to how it all works. So we just need to be a little bit patient in working through those issues. So one of the issues is right at the moment with trial games around the corner. I don't feel comfortable with you guys all having to go into Officials HQ and put your availability, and I don't even know whether we can do it at the moment, whether it's set up. So Andrew Crosby did something for me last night. He's a bit more IT savvy than I am. He set up a shared document, which I'll send the link out to, and anyone can go into it. It'll be like an Excel spreadsheet, and anyone can write on it, and just need you to write your name and your availability for the 3 weekends of trial games coming up. And I won't, I'll send you the link in the notes, but I won't appoint you to trial games unless you're got your availability in there. So we'll use that for the trial games, and then when it comes to the season, you'll need to use Officials HQ. So yeah, as I said, I'll email that link out. There's one for field, one for boundary, one for goal. Next point I've got to make. By the way, if anyone's got any urgent questions as we go through, unmute yourself and just interrupt me. Feel free to ask anything as we go. The Umpires Association. Gory, do you want to unmute yourself? Do you want to give the Umpires Association a bit of a plug? And then I'll just add to that once you finish.
Yeah, probably the only thing to highlight is that not next Wednesday, so 2 weeks' time on the, I think it's the 9th of March, we'll have our first barbecue and drink session after training. So that'll be the start of our social activities for the year. So just put that one in your diary, 2 weeks' time after training. Awesome. And we'll go from there.
So for those that don't know, Ian's the president of the Umpire Association. Umpire Association do an awesome job in just doing things for the umpiring group. And it is expected that all panel umpires, the training umpires, those that are really heavily involved in the umpiring scene become a member. And I think it's that important that basically you won't be considered for a grand final if you're not an Umpire Association member. So
just one more thing, Colin. Presentation night this year will be at the Playford Hotel. We chose not to go back to Adelaide Oval because they were insisting on a double jab policy, and we weren't prepared to go down that path at this stage. So we've moved it back to the Playford Hotel.
Might be a good way to keep Bo away from the dinner. If we went to Adelaide Oval, we'd keep Bo out of it.
Yeah,
No worries. Isn't that the quarantine facility, or was?
Well, it was, but they're doing a complete refurb of the building, so
Yeah.
So it should be good.
All right, cool. And so yeah, the payments, which needs to be done online, I'll have that in the coaching notes, and it's also on the website. By the way, the website is the Adelaide Footy League have got a new website. It's not the Team App website anymore. Just adelaidefooty.com.au. It's got similar information on it, but yeah, just make sure you know that it's a different website this year. Speaking of sort of internet, social media, if you are approached by the media, it's unlikely, but it could happen for any particular issue. Just make sure that you run past me if you want to say something to the media. Last thing I want to do is read something in the paper or turn on the news and have someone that is in the panel making a comment about something footy related and I know nothing about it. So just make sure you contact me if for whatever reason you have a need to go in the media. As far as social media goes, just a reminder, need you to all portray the league and umpiring in a positive light when doing so. That does include comments about umpires in other leagues, including AFL. So now you're an umpire, you're a part of a team, and you need to support umpiring in general. So there's a couple of names on the list here I've had to tap on the shoulder, I can see, just to remind them of that policy. But there is a thing called karma, that if you go out and criticise someone, there's no doubt that something will crop up the following week where you can be criticised. So yeah, we just need to be mindful of the fact that we all support umpires in all leagues. Coaches and observers. So just a reminder how that works. We've got limited resources. We've got a great group of coaches and observers. But for the field umpires, there's a couple of priority areas, and that's the guys doing Div 1 and Div 2, the A-grade umpires. We need to assess them regularly to essentially, when we get to the end of the year, find a way to split them when it comes to who does Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, etc. So I need a certain amount of observations on those top level umpires. And also there's a concentration on the first year field umpires in B grade. So that's where the majority of the observers will focus their attention. So if you're one of these umpires likely to be observed 6 to 10 times during the season, the observer will give you a bit of verbal feedback. They'll provide me with some written feedback, and I'll do a couple of written summaries throughout the year. For other panel umpires or umpires on the panel, don't expect to be observed officially more than 2 or 3 times. Nothing personal. It's just I guess when we've got such a big group of umpires and so much footy, we need to work out where our priorities are. And for a lot of those guys that have been around for a while, we're probably not going to tell you anything you don't already know, but we'll try and give you a bit of love and get you seen 2 or 3 times a year. But yeah, that's essentially how it works. I need to set that expectation. So when we get to the end of the year and someone's only been observed a couple of times and they're thinking, why is that? Well, that's the reason. So appointments. This is a Shane Harris saying that I really like. It stuck with me when he said it to me early on in career, and I know it's had an impact on some of you guys. Treat every game like it's the most important game that weekend for the players, because it is. And if you go out there with the mindset, I don't want to be doing this game because it's not the division I want to do, because it's whatever, it's not the teams I want to do, because it's men's footy, because it's women's footy. You're not going to do the game justice. You're not going to give you 100%. And if you keep it in the back of your mind that those players out there are expecting you to give your all and do the best job, that's the mindset you need to have, and a really important attitude to have all the way through your umpiring career. For those that are wanting to reach Division 1, we will keep the 3K time trial expectation of getting 12:30 or better. Obviously, we have our first one next Wednesday. We have one at the end of March, and then we will run an extra one in April if someone needs that extra one. So if you're not trying to get to Division 1 and it's not a big priority of yours, then just come out to those nights and do a training run. There's no expectations to a certain time. For those of you that normally do Division 1 and for whatever reason haven't got yourself in shape, or there's an injury that holds you back from getting that time trial, it will mean the year that you won't get Division 1, but don't underestimate the fact that you're still a very, very valuable umpire, and there'll be some really top quality games in Division 2 and 3 that you'll be appointed to. So yeah, it's obviously go out there if you have that ambition, try and do the time trial to get there if you want to do Division 1, but if you don't make it, you will be definitely valued throughout the year. So as has been the case in recent years, the selection policy is that, can you guys all hear me all right? Oh, I just need to check that my internet's working all right. Looks like a few of you are frozen.
Oh my goodness. Oh, look, Barry's online.
Here he comes.
He's coming back.
Can't hear you, Colin.
All right, I need to mute everyone else. That's it. All right, so apologies for that. Essentially, the internet here is pretty average. We're in a new office at Dulwich, so we had to move out from Thurby Oval, and yeah, that's not the first time it's dropped out, but anyway, hopefully we get through the rest of the Zoom. All right, so I don't know where I've... Gory, can you just unmute yourself? Or anyone else tell me what you last heard?
Shane Harris. Normal Shane Harris.
Treat every game like it's the most important game for the weekend.
That's the one. That's it.
Oh, surely there was a bit more than I said after that. I went through qualifying time for Div 1 umpires.
Oh, yes, that too. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's when you start to drift off to sleep, right? So the appointment policy is the A grade umpires will be rotated between 2 divisions. So you could be a Div 1, Div 2 umpire, or you could be a Div 3, Div 4 umpire. That's generally the way I work it. I switch you around so that you can be close to home, umpire with different teams, umpire with different umpires.
This is not going to go well.
Why's that? Oh, no. Oh, serious? Am I back on? Oh, far out.
Feeble boom.
All right. I tell you what I'm going to do.
Let's see if anyone wants to know.
All right. Now, I've got rid of the internet here.
Go on, Smitty. Do it.
All right. Am I working now?
Yes.
All right. This is going well. All right. I've got rid of the work internet. I've got my internet device, so hopefully that'll do the trick. All right. So where I was at was saying that if you're an A grade umpire, you rotate between 2 divisions. It might be Division 1, Division 2, or it could be Division 5, Division 6. The reason I do that is to try and get you close to home, try and umpire with different teams, umpire with different umpires. If you're a B grade and C grade umpire, you can be umpiring in any division. You could be Division 1 one week and Division 6 the next. And there's just a lot more flexibility with B grade and C grade. Don't read anything into it. It is just a matter of trying to get you close to home, umpire with different umpires, umpire with different teams, have an observer watch you, whatever it might be. If you've been dropped for any reason, you will be told before appointments come out. So don't stress. Don't contact me and ask me why you've been going down division. You will be told if you have been dropped for whatever reason. So for those starting with us the first time this year, just expect you'll be umpiring in B grade to start with. Whatever your background is, this will help you settle into our ranks and learn what's expected. For those that haven't field umpire at all previously, you most likely spend the whole year in B grade, as there is a lot to learn as a field umpire. Peter Angel does the women's appointments while I do the men's appointments. All games are on Saturdays during the season, except for special occasions like Anzac Day But you can work on Saturdays. It's generally 10:15 C grade, 12:15 B grade, 2:15 A grade for the men's footy, and the women's footy is usually 3:15 or 4:45. And I will ask in due course whether you're interested in umpiring more than one game on a day, whether you want to do men's footy or women's footy or both. I will get you to indicate that in due course. Okay, expectations before a game. There is an off-field uniform that we have that a lot of you have. So your polo shirt, black pants and black shoes with an Adelaide footy jacket if it's cold. However, in the current COVID environment, it's okay to turn up to games in the on-field uniform, so you don't need to go into the change rooms if that's a concern to you. Really important, I say this every year, most of you know the expectations, but it drives me nuts when I hear it. There's umpires that continually don't do it. Arrive at least 45 minutes before the game. Aim for an hour so that if you're running a bit late, you're not gonna push it. If you're running any later than 45 minutes before the game, make sure you ring another officiating umpire. Don't text them because you don't know if they've received the message. Or if you can't get hold of an officiating umpire, give Peter or I a phone call so we can let the umpires know. But yeah, it drives me nuts to hear of umpires rocking up late continually. You need to be there to get ready, to go meet the coaches, which is important. You must meet the coaches. And so, yeah, if you are running late, just make sure that you notify us. Make sure you meet coaches from both teams. It's the only chance the coaches get to speak to you. Do not leave any valuables in the change rooms. That's change rooms on match day, but also at training. Things have gone missing in the past. So, I say every year, someone always doesn't do it, and then something goes missing. But make it a habit not to leave valuables in the change rooms. Don't start a game until the match day official for each club is in place. Make that a habit. And the goal umpires like to make sure that they're ready before you hold the ball up to commence the game. So there's a few things about before a game. After a game, unless there's technical problems, both umpires must input the information into officials HQ. It'll be like the match day out, but you must sit together with the other umpire. Don't say it's okay for the other umpire to do and you just walk off, or they walk off and you just do it. Both sit together. If you don't sit together, that's where mistakes occur. We have had medalists miss out on best and fairest awards because umpires have stuffed it up. So I need you guys to make sure that you sit there with the other umpire and get it right. Not acceptable for umpire to do it on their own. If you've got a red or yellow card, you need to make sure that information goes in correctly. Any queries or concerns, don't hesitate to call me. I do umpire a game or two on a Saturday, so if you can't get hold of me, give Pete a call. And if I see a missed call, I will return your call. If you've got a red card, send me a text to let me know that you've sent one. I need to keep a track on that. It's a really important thing. If you do the red card, send me a text. If you want to withdraw a yellow or red card, don't just do it without discussing it with me first. Sometimes umpires want to not go ahead with it. They ring me, talk through it, and it's actually something that needs to go ahead. So if you've done a yellow or red card and you've got second thoughts about it, make sure you get in touch with me and we have a chat before you officially withdraw it. If you're invited into the rooms after the game, make an effort, if possible, to have a drink at the home club. If the atmosphere is not welcoming, discreetly excuse yourself and leave. All right, rules and interpretations for this year. There is going to be no changes, which is a good thing. Willow, looks like you're in good pre-season mode there.
Always, Cole. Always.
So how are you going to go with that time trial next week?
Not good.
Oh, really? Give it a shot. Give it a crack.
Dave's going to run for me.
All right, no worries. I've given up trying to stop you to stop those fags, but anyway. All right. The only one rule change for this year is that we're going to fall in line with the AFL. The player on the mark should be 15 metres back from the kickoff line after behind. So not so long ago, it was 5 metres, then it turned into 10 metres, then a couple of years ago, AFL turned to 15. we didn't follow suit, but I've put it forward that we should just change it to bring it in line with AFL, just to try and lessen the amount of differences that we have. So unless there's a really blatant breach, don't pay a 25 meters. Just use your voice to clear it as best you can. So the interpretations video is the same as 2020. I think I'll use it for one more year and definitely put a new video together next year. Just had a few things over this summer which meant I couldn't put a new one together, but because we're making no changes, we're going to stick to the 2020 interpretations video. It's just that player on the marker from a kick in that you need to be aware. He's back a little bit further, but again, don't be too concerned about that. I don't expect any major changes in that regard. So I'll put the link to the interpretations video, the coaching notes, make sure you watch it. Last possession rule will be used in all women's games against this year. It will not be used in any men's games, including trial games. So men's footy is going to keep just the standard rule with no last possession. And if you've got a women's game, make sure you watch the video and know how that rule works. Okay, a few other bits and pieces. Timekeepers. If any of there's timekeeper issues, no need for umpires to get involved in that. Timekeepers can contact league representatives if there are any issues. Don't try and cut a game short. We've had that in the past. And essentially, it's up to the club's timekeepers to work out any issues between themselves, and umpires don't want to be telling them what to do or get involved in those discussions. Communication, preferable for you use your voice instead of whistle to let players know what you want them to do. Something Greg will be working with the first year umpires to work on, but just a reminder for that. Of course, the melee rule, we use the whistle, combination of whistle and voice, but other than that, really want you just to get into the habit of communicating with players rather than just blowing a whistle at them. Tribunals, dress attires, match day attire with the polo shirt. Don't hang around after giving evidence, get out of the building. Don't be concerned with the verdict. Don't, if it's not guilty, don't take that offence at that. There's sometimes things happen. As long as you do your job properly on the day and then go to the tribunal and speak honestly, it doesn't matter what the result is. New umpires are welcome to sit on tribunals to see how they operate, so just let me know if you're first year umpire if you want to do that. Overruling other field umpires, only ever do this in the case of a missed high tackle or an incident which compromises player safety. So it's okay if you see a high tackle or if you see a dangerous tackle or something like that, don't hesitate to overrule. However, don't start overruling for missed throws or wrong, holding the balls or that type of thing. If you've got illegal tagging tactics which happen off the ball, that's not overruling. That's a free kick that can be paid by either umpire. Umpire abuse. AFL is doing a bit of crackdown on this, which is really good. Just know that we need to manage it the best way we can. That stance from AFL will help us, but doesn't mean that we have to issue a red card every time someone says something to us. There's different levels of umpire abuse. Respectful questioning of a decision is not abuse, and you should use that as an opportunity to communicate with players. Good rapport builds respect. On the other hand, minor abuse should not be ignored. So you can choose to warn, pay a free kick, or issue a yellow card. If a player keeps going in this situation, it can progress the action of the umpire further. So a warning turns into a free kick turns into a yellow card turns into a red card. And if you've got that progression, the league will always back you up. For serious offences out of the blue that go over the top, you can issue a red card straight away. But usually what you find is that there's a progression, and you try and use the communication skills and those warnings or free kicks to kind of help calm the situation. When you're issuing a red card, make sure you state exactly what was said in officials executing. Zero tolerance of abuse when 100% certain it's from the coach's bench. So you pay free kick or report if warranted. Don't pay free kicks against spectators from around the ground. It's only from when it comes near the official, the coach's bench. If you know it's a coach or another player, pay a free kick straight away. If it's reported incident, you can report. If you're not sure who it is that said it, tell the match day official to give them one warning. Next time you hear the abuse, you pay a free kick or pay a 25 and let me know about it. We want the coaches to set the right example. just a reminder, you need to take the high road, not lower yourself to the abuse of anyone who decides they want to verbally abuse umpires. So if you start getting as good as you got, that's where you can get in trouble. Just make sure that you remain respectful in your communication. And there's a bit about racial and religious vilification. Just make sure if you hear anything like that, you do the right process. Don't talk to anyone about it. It's a confidential note to the league. We follow up, and there's mediation that goes on. You don't need to be making a big issue of that. You can let the players know if they complain to you that you will take action. Important to you to make sure you do take action when someone complains about it. If you haven't heard anything, you just state that in your email to me. But you do need to report it if someone's complained to you. Spectators inside the fence, just a reminder that when a fence is close to the boundary line, spectators need to be behind the fence for safety reasons. Utilise the assistance of the matchday official to make sure this happens. All right, I wanted to get through that in 40 minutes. I've got 3 minutes left. I will send out the notes. But anyone got any quick questions before we wind up tonight?
Yeah, Cole, have we got any COVID jab policy?
No. The Adelaide Footy League is not mandating. Too hard for us. We're just following the instructions of SA Health, which are not insisting that we have to do it. Anyone else? I think a lot of you had heard all this stuff before. But again, it's good to remind you what
Schmitty, how'd your cricket season go?
Good on you, Willow.
Oh, that'll take too long, Cole. I'll come back later.
Oh, come on, Schmitty.
We've all fallen asleep.
There's a story there. Is that right, Smitty? We will find out at training about that.
Just taking wickets, mate. That's all I can
Just
do.
taking wickets? Are you umpiring yourself again?
I think we're starting to go places we really don't need to go. So thanks for everyone for joining in. Sorry about the internet issues. We got through all the information I needed. Short, sharp and shining tonight. Looking forward to another great year. Again, communicate with me when there's issues. If you've got anything that's concerning you, we can work through these issues if there's that healthy respect and communication. So thanks, guys. We'll see you at training next week.
Bye.
Thanks, Colin.
See you, Colin.
Go the power.
Yeah, no worries. That'll be you, Willow.